and now I look after planning and execution. But I also, whenever it is required, like everybody else in the company, we handle multiple responsibilities to the best of our abilities. So when we were requesting you to come, a thought came to my mind that would you know what is a machine tool? Because a lot of people, in fact, frankly speaking, before I joined this company, I also didn't clearly know what is a machine tool. We think a tool may be a pliers, a set of pliers, or a screwdriver or something like that. But machine tools can be really huge things. For example, I remember we made one for Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, and it was as long as the cricket pitches. They are very sophisticated equipment, and industries buy them in plenty. This is the shot of Greece, Ranipet, and you can see a lot of BMW made machines there in this, but they have so many other machines also. So just to acquaint you with the machine tool segment, there is a machine tool body in India which is called IMTMA, Indian Machine Tools Manufacturers Association, and whatever data they give, that data is considered to be authentic. So in my presentation, I will be talking about some data. The source is IMTMA, and the data belongs to the year 2013-14. If we try to divide machine tools into large segments, there are two major segments. One is called forming and the other one is called cutting. Forming means you give a shape to the metal, and cutting is obvious that you cut it. If you see, forming is takes a smaller pie in the total business of about 35 million rupees, and BFW belongs to this cutting segment. Going a little ahead, the Indian machine tool builders fraternity is about 1,000 strong. But out of these 1,000, there are only 25 or so machine tool builders which are supposed to be major. Rest could be that somebody made a machine once a year, somebody made twice a year, somebody maybe made a little more. And these 25 large machine tool builders hold 70% share of the market. BFW falls in this segment. If you look at the consumption of metal cutting machine tools, now I am not talking about metal forming. Our domestic production was about 3,000 crore 2 years ago, and imports were more than that. And a little amount what was made in India was also exported, rupees 129 crore. So when we talk of make in India, it becomes a little, in fact the machine tool industry always keeps thinking that how this can be increased and how this can be decreased. What could be the way by which the manufacturers in India don't have to depend on imported equipment, they don't have to spend their precious forex, they don't have to wait for foreign companies to send their service people, they don't have to wait for a long time to get supply of machines. But the fact remains that today imports are more than exports, and whatever we produce in India is not sufficient. We import much more than what we produce to meet our requirements. When we come to metal cutting methods, first I said metal forming and metal cutting, but in metal cutting also there are two distinct methods. If I say very briefly, in one method the component which has to be cut moves, rotates. In the other one, the component may remain at a place or may move slightly and the cutting tool moves. The first one, in which the component moves, is called turning, and the other one is called milling. Consumption wise, milling is more, turning is slightly less. But domestic production wise, milling is less and turning is more. Which gives us an interesting sight that the requirements of milling are not met totally by Indian production and machines have to be imported. But at the same time, milling machine and turning machine both are being imported. Lot of them are imported due to various reasons. Traditionally, BMW started about 53, 54 years ago. Traditionally, we belong to the milling segment, but for the last 4 or 5 years ago, we ventured into turning. It was a very cautious kind of movement. We started with one type of turning, which is called vertical turning. So with this, the scenario is clear that what India produces is not sufficient. India has to import a lot of things, and metal cutting has two segments. One is milling, one is turning. Both are imported. BMW has been in the milling business, and BMW holds the ambition to become one of the top 20 machine tool companies in the world by 2020. We are somewhere around 80 to 90 perhaps.
No, in India. Both put together 50s.
Yeah. Both put together we are in 50. It's as per the Gardner report. But 50 to coming to 20, it's a journey which requires a lot of strategies, a lot of actions. So to do that, BMW has infused a lot of new things. And one of them is the induction of Mr. Ravi Raghavan. He joined us about 1.5 years ago. He is a change agent. Mr. Raghavan, before coming to BMW, one unique thing about him was that he was the consumer of machine tools. So he knew what does a machine tool user feel, what are his pains, what are his ambitions, on what things he is happy, about what things he is not happy, and what we can do. Remember that we are saying that India is importing a lot of equipment. So if we are able to meet those ambitions of customers, perhaps those imports will not be required. He was the director of Tecumseh, an international company, a multinational making compressors. And prior to that, he has worked in several other companies also. He is a member of CII. And his interests, apart from change, is photography and cricket. So, who better than Mr. Raghavan to bring about those changes to serve the industry, not only to achieve BMW aim, but also to achieve Make in India. So what are those strategies? What are those actions? It is over to Mr. Ravi Raghavan.